Hey everybody, have you ever wondered why people are so promiscuous or why they hold no value with sex and a partner? Well, I'm going to share my experience and why I am so promiscuous, and I'm going to talk about what's something I don't rarely ever tell anybody. I'm going to talk about my first sexual experience, and it was rape. So, cue that intro and stay tuned to the end of the video. Hey everybody, I'm Gigi Sparkle, the transgender goddess of happiness from the beautiful Southern California, and we're back. Thank you for staying and watching that intro. So like I said, why are people so promiscuous? Why people don't hold any value of sex with a partner, and why maybe it just seems meaningless to them, like myself. So I'm going to explain my experience and why I feel I myself don't hold any value, and why some other people might not. And for me, it boils down to being raped. So I wasn't very religious growing up, but I still saw value and the beauty of saving yourself for your partner, and just you and your partner are the only two that you're with when it comes to the sexual experience. So heterosexual, saving for my partner. Not really a very religious person. Like, I believe in spirituality, I believe in a higher source and a power, but don't really believe in like cultist religions, where they're forcing you into structures of ideals that might not be good for society and might not even be good for you. So yeah, I was holding myself out. I was working at this place, and Thursday nights, I would go out with them to West Hollywood. We would usually hit up Mickey's and then the Abbey and then go home. So this night's no different from any other night, with the exception that he has a guy friend with him that he's crushing on, and another friend with them that he knows. And I've never met the other two people. He's driving his car, so my friend drives his car. And we get out to the bar. Of course, they all know I'm straight. So early on, he tells them I'm straight, hands off, leave them alone. And I'm enjoying myself, talking to this girl, and we're dancing on the dance floor. Guys are buying us drinks and buying me drinks. And then their friend who was sitting in the back seat with me buys me a drink, and he gets really close and grabby and handsy, and I'm like, no, stop, don't touch, like, no, get off me, I'm not interested. And so he buys me another drink, and I'm not sure if there's anything in the drink, but that's when I started to really feel the effects of the alcohol. Roughly had 4 adioses and 2 kamikazes. The last drinks were kamikazes, and so ideally, it's a lot, but we do this every weekend, so it usually doesn't have a big effect, but it does get me drunk. But this time, I was slurring and could barely walk. Got in the car and I was just totally, just chill, just sitting there in the car. His friend in the back seat starts putting his hand on my leg, and I'm like, no, stop, don't touch, pushing him off. His friends turn up the music a little louder, which is irritating, and they're just talking to each other and getting all show me. We're going down the 10 back out towards Rancho Cucamonga, so we have about a 40-minute to an hour drive in front of us. And so the guy starts pulling me close, and I'm like, stop. And then I'm getting weaker, I'm falling asleep even. I'm just really drowsy and weak, and he pulls me up on top of his lap and starts pulling my pants down. I'm like, stop it. And like, I'm looking at the rearview mirror to look at my friend, and my friend's basically kind of ignoring us, and it's really frustrating. And I don't understand. Like, I swear this was like some kind of setup or something that wasn't really a friend at all, because he managed to put a condom on, which is a bonus. But he lifts me up and places me onto him, and it keeps going. And I'm saying, stop, cut it out, leave me alone. And my friend's saying nothing in the front driving. And then the condom breaks. He comes and he pushes me off to my seat and like puts my pants up, and I don't remember if he buckled them or not, but I barely remember being dropped off. I barely remember even getting into the house. And like, I woke up and I felt like this weird pressure on myself, and then like this like oozing, and I'm like, oh crap, I gotta go to the bathroom. Go to the bathroom, and like, it's, you know, white stuff, and I'm like, what the heck is this? And I start remembering moments of the situation. I'm like, and so I don't tell anyone about this. I don't say much about it. I am hurt, and I didn't tell my mom. I didn't talk to my friend anymore. Like at work, I transferred to another store, and I didn't bother like talking to him. I didn't tell anyone, which was the bad thing. These situations are the times when you gotta swallow your pride. It's not your fault. Like, this person is taking advantage of people. You have to tell someone, you have to figure out, get the authorities involved to stop the cycle of RAPE, stop the cycle of rape. It's something that's horrible that people do. He comes to find out is just obsessed with getting straight people or converting them, in a sense. Years later, I found out that he's HIV positive. I am still HIV negative, so he probably caught it after the fact, afterwards, or contracted it afterwards. To this day, I am HIV negative, but it's still scary. And I was 21, maybe I was 22 years old when this happened. I can't remember what year it was. I do remember the time frame where I worked. I started there at 21, and this was before I started working at Disneyland, so it's before like 22 years old, or in that time frame of 22 years old. I started working at Disneyland in 2001. So that's when I turned 22. I started in February or April. Around that time frame was when DCA opened, so I was one of the new cast members when DCA opened, who worked at DCA. And yeah, so that was before my 21st birthday, 22nd birthday, so yeah, so I was 21 years old. I never went out with him again. I never saw him again until accidentally rolled into a job that I worked at, and I completely just ignored the whole situation. He's like, oh my gosh, nice to see you. I'm like, no, it's not nice to see you. That was very hard, because, afterwards, like, the emotions after he left, like, I was there alone, which is scary enough, and yeah, so I don't know if that definitely diminishes the value of sex, because my whole ideal of saving myself for someone before marriage, and like, it was ruined. I ended up just having sex with my first like real girlfriend out of like school, like a year later, and that was hard and traumatic because like I wasn't sure if I wanted to really do it, and I felt uneasy with it, but I was also felt like I wasn't taking anything away from anybody, or I wasn't changing someone's values on sex because she had already had a child, and so she already had premarital sex. She's already had sex before, so it wasn't that big of a deal, it seemed. And then going through the motions, sex just seemed less and less important between a partner. And then getting married, my ex ruined it because after we were married, she goes off and has sex and has an affair for a month and a half, who knows how long, and gets pregnant with that guy, and then coerces me into agreeing to have an open marriage, which I never was into. And now, like, I'm all about just, I don't care. All I care about is that you don't do it behind my back and don't lie, and that you are open and communicate with me. And that's all that matters. I don't care if I'm there participating. I don't care if I am there and participating. I just have no value in sex anymore. Since then, I was raped again recently, which makes it hard for me to trust people or go to their houses when I meet somebody new. We were talking online through Facebook dating, and he wanted to see me, and I was telling him, no, it's fine, it's late, you're far away, I have no way to get back home if anything happens, I have no way of getting out. And so like we kept talking, and we said like, hey, I'll come over, but it's only to talk. I just want to talk and get to know you, nothing more. So I get down there, and he starts putting his hands on me, and I'm like, I push him off. I'm like, no, I said, we're just talking. What are you doing? You said you wanted me to come down and talk. I want to talk. I don't want to cuddle. I don't want to touch. I don't want to make out. I don't want to have sex. And he is like a 6'2", big guy from Mississippi, a farmer. He owns the farm, and he's in some Bitcoin financial stuff as well. So he's a millionaire, ideally. And he asks if I want to drink. He says all he has is beer. So I'm like, sure, why not? So I have a beer. He's like, would you like to go inside? I'm like, not really. But I go inside, I sit down on the couch, and he goes towards the bedroom, and he's like, aren't you coming this way? I'm like, no, I thought we just watched TV or something. And so, yeah, I'll turn the TV on in the room. I'm like, okay. Like, he's really, and I know I'm putting myself in more of a bad situation. I was really uncomfortable, really didn't want to be there. I really didn't want to spend time with him. He wasn't my type, and like, he had all these like bumps on his skin, and yeah, like I think they're like the internal tattoo things, like the rocks or the stones and stuff that you put under the skin. And he had piercings through his penis, and he asked me just to come inside. So I went to the room. I just stood up because there's no chairs. It's just a bed and dressers. So I just stood up talking to him. He's like, aren't you gonna relax? I'm all, no, I'm not gonna really relax because this is an uncomfortable situation, and I told you I just want to talk. I don't want to like lay in bed with you and cuddle and or anything. He's like, okay, I understand. I'll be good. I promise. I was like, okay, thank you. So I go on the bed, sit down on the seat or on the next to the pillow, sitting up to watch the television and talk with him. And then I'm really tired and exhausted. It's like 3 a.m. So I just lay down, And again, I should have just asked him to take me home or give me a ride home. I just put myself in the wrong situation. Asked to go to the bathroom. I went to the bathroom, came back, and he's naked. He's like, just take off your clothes and relax. Like, feel good. Just be comfortable. I'm like, I'm comfortable. I'm good. Thank you. And I lay down against the wall and just like try talking, and I've fallen asleep. And then as I'm sleeping, I feel his hands like taking my shorts off, and he pulls me closer to him, and I'm wearing like a leotard, and so like he's just holding me like really tight, and he pulls me up towards him and takes advantage of the situation, you know. I'm telling him, stop. I have no leverage, can't, do anything. He's got me held down by his weight. He's weighing, 280, near 300 pounds. I can't do anything. And so I just grin it and take it. And it hurt a lot because he had a thick cock and the piercings just were painful. And then he goes and like tries to stick a dildo in with it. I'm telling him just fucking stop, and he won't, and he just keeps going harder, and he's choking me. And when he's done, like, I put on my clothes, he orders the car, and I leave. Once I got home, I did report that one, but he left like probably shortly afterwards. He wasn't at the park anymore. I didn't pay attention to the license plates or anything. Memory was just all gone, like just all jumbled up and just hurt. I was laying in bed crying, and what sucks even more is that my sister and my mom didn't seem to care. They didn't come to talk to me or ask me why I'm crying or see how I'm feeling or what's going on. They said nothing. I'm sitting there crying after being raped by this guy, and calling the police and doing reports, and they say nothing. It's good to just do the report. Reported him to Facebook on Facebook dating, and again, report him to authorities, so they should be able to find him. It shouldn't be that hard to find Cole on Facebook. And then there's also relationship rapes, situations where like there's the consent, but consent isn't open in a marriage. It's not even open in like a relationship. Just because you give consent once doesn't mean it gives consent for every time. So sadly, like my first child wasn't a rape situation, but it was a forced breeding situation. So after my ex got pregnant with the other guy, she had a miscarriage from that pregnancy. And so she really claimed to want a child that she knew was mine. And so she kind of pushed us to have sex, because usually I get home and I'm exhausted. Like, sadly enough, we didn't have sex after we got married until that moment, because like I've been so busy with work. I leave at like 4 a.m. to get to work by 7. And then after I get off work at 4, it takes like 2 hours to get home, 2-3 hours to get home. So I get home at like 6-7 o'clock at night. And so I'm exhausted, I'm drained. So and then usually she works afternoons at Disneyland, so like we rarely got a moment together. But this was a moment, like I think I was off or something, and I just got home from work. I got from somewhere, and she like asked me to come over to the room. I go to the room, and she's sitting there like waiting, and I'm like, okay, yeah, maybe, I guess we could. So we're doing it, and I tell her I'm about to come, I'm gonna pull out, and she wraps her legs around me. That doesn't allow me to get out, and like just I'm like, no, this is not okay. Like, you're gonna get pregnant. Like, well, it's not right. Our timing's off. it's too soon. Again, we just got married. It's early December. So December 6th, 2007. And, that's when my number one child was created. Not consummated. Marriage was finally consummated, and our first child was conceived. But I didn't want that to happen, and I really wanted to pull out, and we weren't using protection because of Catholic rules. And so we were just going by the cycle planning and our menstrual planning. And along lines with the relationship, the last one I have, I was trying to figure out who I wanted to date. I had two guys options. One that treats me well, but only wanted me for sex. He didn't really want the relationship that he claimed he wanted in the beginning when we first started talking. He said he only wanted a long-term relationship, and he only seemed to want sex because I'd go over, we'd have sex, and he'd drop me off afterwards. It wasn't any real relationship. We'd talk a few times, we talked during the day, during the week, but we'd only see each other once a week, and that was irritating as well. I'm so used to seeing people I date or partners with multiple days a week, not just once a week. And so there was a break where we weren't seeing each other for a month, and he reached out back to me the following month, mid-month, and said, "Hey, I miss you, do you want to hang out?" No, I reached out to him, I'm sorry. I sent him a book that I suggest he could read. And then he reached out to me, and then we started having a conversation, and he wanted to go out. So we go out. Of course, he takes me back to this place we have sex. I'm like, seriously, that's all you want? And so then I meet this other person who just wants nothing more than just to be with me and spend time with me. And he wants to see me every day. He wants to sleep with me at night and cuddle with me and just have me in his arms and wake up in the morning with me there. And so I was it's really sweet. Somebody who actually wants me around. So he says he wants me to be his girlfriend. He wants to have a relationship with me long term. After when we first met, we discussed how we don't want relationships and we're not open to relationships. And then all of a sudden he wants a relationship, and so I'm a bit confused. So I go to call my other guy and tell him that, hey, I'd like to just hang out. Can we just go out to eat, watch a movie, something? So that's what we do. We go out, we get dinner, we go to a movie. We go back to his house for a movie. And as soon as we get in the house, he pushes me in the room, throws me over the bed, pulls my pants down, and then just takes advantage, right? And I necessarily didn't want to do that. I didn't ask him to do that. I didn't want to do it. I really didn't want to have sex with him. I just wanted to see if we really wanted to be together. I wanted to talk about that. But seeing that, all he wanted was that answered the question. He only wants me around for sex. And he's talking about, yeah, baby, take it. Here, take some more. I'm going to give it to you. And when we're done here, we'll do it again later. And afterwards, I was like, no, I'm going to go home. So instead of talking to him about how I felt about a relationship and moving forward with our relationship, I just thought I would never talk to him again. So, I've been horrible at keeping people off or putting myself in bad situations. Yes, I've put myself in horrible situations, but it still doesn't mean that what happened should happen. People should have respect for other people's bodies, for their boundaries, and get consent. Ask questions. Don't just force yourself upon another person. Get consent. Consent is sexy, and it makes for a beautiful moment. Now my brain's so messed up, rape's a fantasy. It's disgusting, and it's irritating. And again, I hold no value towards sex. It sucks. I love having sex. It is fun. I just hope and pray that you guys don't go through this or go through any situation similar to anything that I've experienced. It's not pleasant. You feel dirty. You feel icky. You cry. You don't know who to talk to, who to trust, who to say anything to. Again, I haven't told anybody any of these stories. There's a few people I've told, but not many. I haven't told my brother. I haven't even told him, and I tell him everything. I haven't told my best friend, at least I tell her a lot. Of course, my mom and my sister don't know. My boyfriend knows. He knows. And so it hurts that he accuses me of, like, cheating on him, because I might not hold values, but I will never cheat, and I will never put someone in that situation to feel the pain that I felt when my ex was cheating on me, when I was raped, or when situations happen. So I might not hold full values, but I still have some basic core values and morals when it comes to sex. It's fun. I enjoy it. Sure, after the relationship might be over, I'll continue doing it. But yeah, I'll continue like being promiscuous. I'll continue having fun. But in a relationship, I will never disrespect the person in a relationship. I want to thank you guys for joining me. Of course, this is very hard for me to talk about. Extremely hard subject to talk about. I do hope you guys learn something. Don't put yourself in bad situations. Always have an exit strategy. Drive yourself everywhere. And let people know where you are at all times. Even sharing the location and having a 911 button ready and available. I have downloaded an app now. Noomi, I believe it's called, Noomermi. I'll go ahead and put it in the description below, but it's a safety app. You turn it on, and if you don't press and hold in a certain matter of time, it'll automatically call 911 for you. So it's a great app to have to keep you safe. I do recommend them. I'm not sponsored by them. They don't even know I exist, but I do appreciate the service that they are providing. It calls 911. It gives them your phone's location tracking, and so you know exactly where you're at. I've had a lot of bad situations in the past 3 years. Raped twice, mugged and robbed once, and then assaulted another time, and then my stuff stolen from my friends, so-called friends, almost twice, and yeah, randomly kicked out for no reason at all, with no warning at all, twice, and yeah, like no 30-day notice, no 15-day notice, no 10-day notice, no 5-day notice, just day of, get out kind of thing. And it's been a rough 3 years, but at the same time, I still have it easier than most other trans people and transgender women of color. So I haven't been, none of those things happened for a hate crime. They happened circumstantially and putting myself in bad situations. Walking down the street alone at night, down Valley View Boulevard, off of Sahara. Yeah, you're gonna get mugged. And then I had my phone out. I was using my phone. I had a Coach bag. So things were very easy and obvious to, take for somebody to want to take them. And I didn't drive my motorcycle down. Like I should have rode the motorcycle instead of walking. But I was drunk, so I didn't want to walk. I didn't want to ride. So I walked. And yeah, put myself in a bad situation there. The other time I was standing up for somebody else when I got assaulted, and I thought I had de-escalated the situation, and the guy, when I'm not looking, turns around and hits me with a metal rod across the face. So like, cheap shot, pathetic low blow, striking a woman when they're not even paying attention, is a cowardly move by any so-called man to do. But again, remember guys, Keep that spark of kindness in your heart. Give someone a compliment, anyone a compliment. Those compliments help people in the slightest way. It helps bring joy to their heart, and it also helps bring joy to your heart. Get a minimum of 12 hugs in each and every day. Those hugs help bring self-worth in yourself and your inner circle, especially the little ones. And especially the little ones, tell them that you love them and you care about them. Don't let them guess or wonder if they're loved. This helps prevent suicides. And most importantly, tell yourself, I love you. Each and every day, look in the mirror, look into your left eye, and tell yourself, I love you. I'm Gigi Sparkle, the goddess of happiness from the beautiful Southern California, and we're sparking out. Thank you guys. Bye. I appreciate you guys for hanging around. Please subscribe and follow, join my channel. I talk about my life, my stories, my journey, what makes my life, and I talk about personal growth, so different books that help you change your mindset to improve your life and to do better, or to build more confidence within yourself. Because most importantly, you've got to love you above all before you can love anyone else. All right? Take care, guys. Bye.
In the streets in a dress with her hair tied up, or I can be a freak in the sheets.